I knew what divorce was before I really knew what marriage meant. My parents hated each other. I just became the ass.
Christina showed up with a label exec.
She will not be taking that part.
She was looking at me like, "You're finished?"
After 5 minutes, he left. Like, I can't help her. I tell the truth, and it gets me into trouble sometimes, and that's okay, because I stand by it.
It was always going to take a certain bloke to tame the headstrong superstar.
She met motocross rider Carey Hart at the X Games in Philly. He made a lasting impression.
We were falling in love, and it was easy.
Is there one thing for you that you could look back on and say, that's the moment that changed for me?
Carey crashed in a motocross competition. All 4 of his limbs were shattered.
It went from like really cute to really hard.
It's a pretty painful thing to go through.
20 minutes later, I was sobbing. She just checked out. So I said, I can't be with you.
We couldn't move forward. We just kind of kept slipping deeper and deeper into this hole.
I realized once he was gone that I loved him, and I needed him to tell me he loved me.
That was a time where I was really angry at the world. I was angry with her.
You swore off love, so how did you fall for Carey?
He was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Motocross rider Carey Hart made a lasting impression.
I jumped on my motorcycle and went out for my run and crashed my brains out and broke like 16 bones.
We thought he was dead, and I turned to my girlfriend and I was like, I will never date a motocross rider as long as I live.
Alicia's brutal upbringing kept her from opening up to anyone.
My household was World War III. My parents hated each other. Like, I knew what divorce was and what it meant before I really knew what marriage meant.
Jim and Judy Moore finally decided to divorce.
Well, when you coming back, Dad? Well, no, I'm leaving.
I was completely devastated. And I was just hysterical. My mom, she had real trouble with me.
It was just conflict over everything.
I was about 15 years old when my mom kicked me out. Confused, angry, depressed. Singing was the only way that I could get people to stop talking and listen to me.
Performing made Alicia feel strong enough to handle any rejection that came her way.
You can just imagine a white girl coming down in a Philly club scene.
With people going, white bitch, get the off the stage, who the do you think you are? There was never a point in my life where I even thought something else was an option. And DJ Storm said, you can sing. Come back and I'll give you a guest spotlight.
Alicia followed her dreams of becoming a singer, but hid herself behind a tough girl exterior.
One day, she was Alicia Moore, and a week later, she shows up at my office. She's Pink. She was always outspoken. She was never shy. She would say what exactly was on her mind.
Pink's talent caught the attention of recording companies, but her tough persona kept anyone from seeing the real Alicia.
When I first signed, I was supposed to take media coaching and etiquette classes. I thought the etiquette classes were an insult. I tried the media coaching, and after 5 minutes, he left. He was like, I can't help her. I just became the ass. And it was a role that I figured out I was gonna play a lot in this industry.
She thought the pink armor would shield her forever, until Carey crashed into her life.
Last year at this time, you watched Carey fall from the sky, literally. This year, you're here watching as a girlfriend. Are you nervous?
Last year I said, as that happened, I said, mark my words, I will never date a freestyle motocross rider. And here I am. Yes, I'm a nervous wreck. He's the most consistent, reliable man that I've ever known. We were falling in love, and it was easy.
We were sitting in a diner and we wrote a contract on a napkin and said, okay, we won't go more than 8 days without seeing each other.
But when she went on tour, her old fears came rushing back.
It went from like really cute to really hard. 8 days turned into 4 weeks.
When a person's put in a position where they're trying to make career number 1, the relationship falls to number 2. We couldn't move forward. We just kind of kept slipping deeper and deeper into this hole.
I was lonely and in London, sitting in a bathroom stall crying. And I needed him to tell me he loved me. And he wouldn't. So I said, I can't be with you.
It was obvious she just checked out and didn't want to really put a lot of emotion into it.
I didn't want to go deep. I didn't really have much to say.
It was brutal for me. It's a pretty painful thing to go through.
Pink had pushed Carey away, and then she almost lost him for good.
Carey crashed in a motocross competition. All 4 of his limbs were shattered. Pink rushed to his side.
I realized that I loved him, that I'd pushed him away because of fear. I've never been so humbled by a relationship in my life.
Pushing through her fear, Pink refused to let her relationship with Carey see the same fate as her parents.
I was at a motocross race, and halfway through the race, I'm coming up past the pitboard area, and she holds the pitboard out and says, will you marry me on it? Well, I came skidding off the track, and I kind of looked at her, because I was pretty preoccupied doing my race, and I was like, "Are you serious?" She's like, "Yeah, get your butt back on the track."
We're both so connected and so in love that nothing's going to tear us apart.
With Carey by her side, Pink was ready to take the risk of showing the real Alicia.
Carey kisses me on my neck and says good luck, and he goes out to his seat. And then it's time to go.
This is Pink. The Grammy performance. You realize what you did there?
Yeah, I felt like I had introduced some people finally to Alicia in that moment, as opposed to, this angry, man-eating, crazy pop girl, Pink. I felt like all of me had shown up that night. I was feeling just stimulated, and it was a beautiful time. I felt alive.
Is there one thing for you that you could look back on and say, that's the moment that changed for me?
Carey and I's ride this whole time, going from a kid to becoming a woman and figuring out who I am.
I'm much more open. I'm much more accepting of myself. I used to just be really dark, and now everything's a song, and it's just a lot more fun.
And the world loved the real Alicia just as much as Carey did.
We take the gravel in the shell and we make a pearl. And we help other people to change so that they can see more kinds of beauty. There's a power in believing in yourself. There's a power in not giving up on life and on not giving up on yourself. No one else can ever be you.